Why do some people glide into their 90s, sharp, steady, and full of quiet joy, while others begin to fade in their 70s, losing strength, memory, and even hope? I'm Dr. Masayuki, a senior health specialist who's helped thousands reclaim their vitality. What I've learned: it's not just genetics. It's not what most checkups catch. There's a quiet divide. On one side, older adults, thriving, engaged, mobile, mentally clear. On the other, seniors drained by fatigue, illness, or loneliness, years before they expected. What's behind that gap? 5 hidden forces silently shape how we age. They don't make headlines, but they control how you sleep, eat, think, and connect. Over time, they decide freedom or a slow retreat. One shocked even scientists. Spoiler, it's number 4. The good news? These forces are reversible. You can stop the leaks. You can rebuild. Let me show you how. I still remember the last time Frank walked into my clinic. As a geriatric specialist, I've seen thousands of patients, but Frank's story still haunts me. He wore the same beige windbreaker he always did, but this time, something about him looked smaller, not just in stature. Something in his eyes had faded, like a porch light that used to shine warm and bright but now flickered behind tired glass. "Doc," he said with a half-smile, "it's quiet these days. Too quiet." Frank had just turned 76. 3 months earlier, he'd moved to a new town to be closer to his daughter after losing his wife. He thought the change would help, but what he didn't expect was how much that move would strip away the invisible glue holding his life together: his friends, his weekly poker nights, the morning walks with his neighbor of 40 years. Within weeks, his appetite dwindled. He started sleeping odd hours. He forgot his own appointment once. But what truly concerned me: his blood pressure spiked, and his gait, once strong, became slow and unsteady. Frank wasn't just adjusting to a new address. He was fading. You see, what happened to Frank is something I've witnessed far too many times. Not from illness, not from injury, but from 5 silent forces that slowly pull at the edges of vitality, and often, we don't notice until it's too late. Many seniors don't struggle to live past 80 because of one big catastrophic health event. They struggle because of compounding issues that shrink life's borders, one small loss at a time. These are the ones I want to talk to you about today. Let's begin with the most invisible and the most devastating: social isolation. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It's a biological warning sign, just like hunger or thirst. And when that signal gets ignored for too long, the consequences seep deep into the body. In fact, Brigham Young University found chronic loneliness increases early death risk by 29%, equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes daily. Let that sink in. In my own practice, I've seen patients like Frank, strong, independent men and women, begin to decline rapidly after losing their social ties. Not from grief alone, but from the silent biological toll of isolation: increased cortisol, low-grade inflammation, and suppressed immune function. Without regular connection, their bodies shift into survival mode. Their brains? They start to atrophy from underuse. Their hearts? Often burdened by stress and poor sleep. It's not just sad, it's dangerous, but reversible. Social health is as modifiable as physical health. You can rebuild. Start small. A weekly coffee group. A phone call every Tuesday. Joining a class at the senior center. Even apps like Alera or Senior Planet can gently introduce new friendships. And here's something most people overlook. Home safety plays a role. When you remove tripping hazards and install proper lighting, you reduce fear. The fear that keeps many older adults from leaving the house. Safety fuels confidence. Confidence creates movement. And movement leads to connection. Frank didn't turn around overnight, but with encouragement, He joined a silver sneakers class and started attending church again. Slowly, the light came back. This brings us to the second silent thief: loss of purpose. When you retire, when the kids are grown, when the house feels too quiet, what's left? Some will say, "Now I can relax." And that's good, for a while. But over the years, I've watched too many healthy adults age before their time after losing their sense of why. One study from the Blue Zone's research shows that having a strong sense of purpose, what the Japanese call ikigai, can add 7 to 10 years to your life. 7 to 10. That's not a supplement. That's not a surgery. That's meaning. My patient Margaret is a beautiful example. She had arthritis so bad she could barely tend her small flower beds. She was grieving the loss of her husband and feeling invisible. One spring, a neighbor asked her to help start a community garden. Margaret hesitated, but said yes. Not only did her mobility improve, but her mood lifted. She smiled more. And something remarkable happened. Her pain lessened. Less cortisol. Less inflammation. Her labs reflected what her spirit already knew. Purpose is medicine, real medicine. If you're wondering where to start, try this. Think of something you enjoy. Something you're good at. Something the world needs. And something you can sustain. That's ikigai. Maybe it's mentoring. Maybe it's volunteering an hour a week. Maybe it's simply taking care of a pet or helping a neighbor with errands. Purpose doesn't need applause. It needs heart. And purpose leads us to the third silent threat, the medication cascade. You'd be amazed how often I meet a new patient taking 8, 10, even 14 medications, and not one doctor is overseeing the whole picture. It's called polypharmacy, and it's responsible for about 30% of hospitalizations in seniors, according to Johns Hopkins. I once treated a man who came in with dizziness, fatigue, and swelling. His cardiologist prescribed one drug, his neurologist another, his primary care physician added 2 more. But no one stopped to ask, what's causing what? The truth? Most of his symptoms were side effects, not disease. Here's what I recommend. Every year, have a geriatric specialist or a pharmacist trained in senior care review every single medication you take. Ask the questions: what is this treating? Can I try lifestyle changes instead? Is there a safer alternative? There are even apps like MediSafe that help track interactions. And don't forget your vitamin D levels. Deficiencies are common in older adults and can lead to fatigue, bone weakness, and even depression. It's a simple test, but one often missed. Now, I know this may feel like a lot, so let's take a breath here. Wherever you are, maybe sitting by the window, maybe lying in bed, just take a deep breath in and out. You are not alone in this. Aging is not a slow decline into darkness. It's a chapter. And chapters are meant to be shaped, rewritten, even reclaimed. In the next part, I'll share 2 more silent factors that quietly shorten life, and more importantly, how you can gently reverse their grip. But for now, remember Frank, remember Margaret, and remember this: it's never too late to reconnect, to reclaim meaning, to ask better questions, and to begin again. There's something I often tell my patients, especially when they feel overwhelmed by it all. It's not your age that decides your future, it's your inflammation. And that brings us to the 4th silent force that quietly shortens life, especially after 70. Chronic inflammation. It's not the kind that shows up as a fever or a swollen ankle. No, this one is quiet. It smolders like a hidden ember, no smoke, no flame, just slow, steady destruction. Scientists have a name for it: inflammaging, a low-grade chronic inflammation that accelerates aging from the inside out. It affects everything: your brain, your heart, your muscles, your immune system. And the scary part? Many seniors live with it for years without knowing. Take Helen, a sharp, kind woman who blamed her constant knee pain on just aging. A blood test revealed hidden inflammation from processed foods and inactivity. We fixed her plate, not her pills. She swapped white bread for oats, added anti-inflammatory turmeric and berries to her breakfast, and committed to a 15-minute post-dinner walk. And we focused on sleep, because poor sleep makes inflammation worse. Within 3 months, her pain eased, her blood pressure dropped, her mood lifted, even her skin looked healthier. You see, inflammation is not a punishment, it's a signal, and when you listen, you can heal. Here's how you can quiet that hidden fire. Eat more omega-3, found in fatty fish like sardines and salmon. They act like fire extinguishers for inflammation. Limit added sugars and refined carbs, these fuel the flame. Add spices like ginger, turmeric, and garlic to meals. Move every day, even if it's gentle stretching. Movement flushes out inflammatory markers. And don't forget hydration. Water helps the body clear toxins that would otherwise linger. Even small improvements matter. As I tell my patients, better is better, even if it's just a little. Now, there's one final piece. One that's deeply misunderstood, even by doctors. It's something I call the stress-sleep loop. I want to tell you about James, a retired bus driver in his early 70s. He hadn't slept through the night in over a year, not because of pain, but because his mind wouldn't stop spinning. Regrets about his late wife, worries about his son, news headlines, the sound of the refrigerator at 3 a.m. Every night, he lay awake, and every morning, he woke exhausted. What he didn't realize is that sleep and stress fuel each other. Poor sleep raises stress hormones like cortisol. High cortisol makes sleep lighter, more fragmented. It's a loop, and if left unchecked, it leads to cognitive decline, weight gain, high blood pressure, and faster aging. And tragically, many seniors are given sleeping pills without ever addressing the root. So we took a different approach. First, reset his body's natural sleep-wake cycle. I ask him to sit by the window each morning for 10 minutes to let natural light reset his brain. No screens before bed. A calming ritual, tea, warm bath, soft music. He wrote his worries in a journal, just to give them a place to rest outside his head. Then we addressed his daytime stress, simple breathing exercises, a gratitude practice, and reconnecting with his church group. Within a month, James was sleeping 6 to 7 hours again, and more than that, he felt safe in his own mind. That's what I want for you. Because stress, when left unresolved, speeds up every disease of aging. But managed gently, it becomes a guide, a teacher. So tonight, if you find yourself staring at the ceiling, here's what I recommend. Try a 4 to 7 -8 breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It calms the vagus nerve and tells your body, you're safe now. Listen to binaural beats, soft rhythmic tones that guide your brain toward restful states. Use lavender oil. Even a few drops on a cloth by your pillow can reduce anxiety. And above all, speak kindly to yourself. You're not broken. You're tired. There's a difference. Let me pause here and say this. If you've listened this far, I want you to know, I see you. You're not alone in this maze of modern aging. You are navigating a world full of noise, pills, promises, and pressure. But somewhere in that chaos, I hope today's message brought you something quieter. Clarity, courage, compassion. Because aging well isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting your spark. It's about reclaiming your strength, your dignity, and your voice. It's about making peace with your body and gently guiding it back to balance. So let me leave you with this. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember Frank, Margaret, Helen, and James. 4 ordinary people who reclaimed their lives, not through willpower, but through simple, caring steps done consistently. Let today be the start of that for you. Not a sprint, not a drastic overhaul. Just one quiet decision to choose life a little more fully. Tonight, choose one. Pour that glass of water, lace up those walking shoes, or dial a friend's number. Question that medication. Say yes to the garden. Say yes to sleep. Say yes to yourself. And if no one's told you this in a while, you are still needed. Your life still matters. And you have so much more to give. Let's walk this journey together. One step, one breath, one sunrise at a time.